Welcome to another episode of Life and Whiskey. As always, I'm Jordan, and today we are going to dive into the second Rendezvous Rye. Rendezvous. I'm just screwing around. The second Rendezvous Rye that I bought. Um, this is the 2020 version, so it's 20F12 is the batch number, 46% ABV. That's 92 proof. And it sidebar. So it's Rendezvous Rye, which here in Wyoming, for those who are unfamiliar, the French owned a lot of what is currently the western United States. The Louisiana Purchase was from the Mississippi River, I think, all the way to like California, Washington. I'm a little unfamiliar on that. It might have even been. So California was part of Spain and Mexico, so I think it would have been Washington, Oregon, to the coast, and then down to the south. Not sure if Arizona, Texas, New Mexico was part of that or not. Maybe even Colorado. I don't really remember my history too well on that, but the Louisiana Purchase bought it from the French. So as part of that, Wyoming was included in it, and so there are several areas throughout Montana, Wyoming, Utah, Idaho, maybe not Utah, but Idaho, Oregon, Washington, that carry French names. So here in Wyoming, it's kind of interesting. So the way a place's name or words in general are pronounced in a given location, if you want a little secret, here's a little, I don't know, lesson in language. The way local people pronounce something is the proper way to pronounce those words, despite what you think. Perfect example. If you grew up in the Midwest and a lot of other places, go ahead and type in the comments down below what the capital of South Dakota is. And if you're like me, of course, if you type it out, it's not gonna, you won't really show how to pronounce it unless you do. I forget what you call that, but the pronunciation, um, the little letters and squiggles and whatever that tell you how to pronounce words. I grew up calling it Pierre. Pierre, South Dakota, right? That's the capital of South Dakota, Pierre. Wrong. You are more wrong than you could ever imagine. It is not Pierre, even though it is spelled Pierre. And if you ask any Frenchman, it's Pierre. No. Talk to a person from South Dakota, and it is Pierre. Pierre, South Dakota is the capital of South Dakota. Just like that, here in Wyoming, we have a city called Dubois. So if you were French, you'd pronounce it Dubois. But here in Wyoming, it's called Dubois. So Dubois, Dubois. Correct French pronunciation is Dubois, but it is Dubois here in Wyoming. And just another little fun, I don't know, FU to the French, that throughout Western America, French names are typically pronounced in a English American bastardized way. So that's something kind of fun. I grew up in Wisconsin, and tons of French words and names there. Lac de Flambeau and all those other lakes, and there's Fond du Lac, and just tons of French language named things throughout Wisconsin, and they're typically semi Frenchy in their pronunciation still. Not true about the West. So there's my sidebar. Little I don't even know, rendezvous. That's how I got on that. And so Rendezvous Rye is a annual release from High West Distillery. This is the 2020 version. It's supposed to be to commemorate the rendezvous in Wyoming, which is where the French fur traders and everybody would get together, trade their furs, and drink whiskey and have a good time, as so says the bottle here. So this is batch 20F12. I picked this up in Casper, Wyoming at the Liquor Shed, and it was $53.99. Again, the 2019 I picked up at a different store, $59.90. So a little bit cheaper here. Again, the 20 you might be able to find a little bit easier, depending on where you live. And the 2021, you can get that fairly easy as well. Again, not sure what distillates in this bottle, whether High West actually has their own in there or not, or if this is different varieties of MGP, different ages. But according to their website, and they do not say at what point they made the switch. So this is the current website stating that it is 4 to 9 year old whiskey blended straight rye whiskey, meaning that it's at least 51% rye, aged at least 2 years. As I just got done saying, 4 to 9 years in age is what they're claiming. It's NAS, so it must be at least 4 years old. And they are saying that it is a mash bill of MGP, which is 95% rye, 5% barley, and their own distillate, which is 80% rye, 20% malted rye. Not sure if that's what's in this bottle or if that's what's in the 2021 bottle, but according to the website, that's what we got. Let's see how this compares to the 2019 that we just got done doing here. On the nose, I'm guessing this is where they have made the change, because on the nose, this does not smell hardly at all like the 2019 and that classic MGP nose profile where it is eucalyptus and floral and that appleness, that sweet apple in there. This is a little more subdued to start with. A little more brown sugar. There is still a thread that starts tucked in the back, and the more I put my nose in there, the more I'm finding it of that classic MGP profile, but that is not the dominating characteristic that is coming out of this glass. There's a little bit of oak in there, and I would say there's more of a fruitiness, a light apple apricot type fruit in there that is dominating the profile, mixed with some brown sugar before you get into that classic eucalyptus floral MGP smell. So it is in there, it's just not the dominant profile. There's almost a cherry in there, like a bourbon type cherry, like a wild turkey bourbon cherry. Green apple. It's a lot nicer. I like this nose better than I like the 2019, just because it's a couple steps off of what that traditional MGP nose profile is. On the taste, okay, the taste is very different from the 2019 as well. The flavor profile lasts slightly longer. It's still pretty thin, pretty watery up front. It is not a very clingy mouthfeel at all. In fact, it's starting to dry out a little bit. It's just in your mouth and dissipates really quickly. The sweet characteristics are tamped down. I would say all of the MGP characteristics are tamped down. They're still there. They're just muted a little bit. And what comes through as your dominating flavor profile is brown sugar, oak, and a little bit of green apple caramel in there. And that the spiciness is also tamped down. The ethanol is there, so you get a good ethanol burn from mid palate all the way through, but the rye spice is not there quite as much. This is more sweet and more soft in its presentation, so there's no heavy hitting notes in there. It's almost a little watery thin all the way through the profile. The nose it's starting to get more of a bourbon type nose on it. With a little, it's like Buffalo Trace type nose mixed with with an MGP rye. That's where it's going. But you're getting more brown sugar, wood, brown sugar forward, caramel, fruit. That rye spice picked up on that next sip, kind of towards the finish. So my finish is rye spice and sweet. So it's hitting a lot of the classic rye notes in there, but it's mixing in some bourbon notes as well. I'm going to say out of the two, I definitely like the 2020 way more than I do the 2021 because it is not as classic MGP in the flavor profile. It's a little more complex. Still watery thin, which I'm not over the moon about. It's not quite as hefty as I would want from a rye to be able to sit and drink it neat all the time. That being said, at that price point, I'm not mixing this. And it is enjoyable. I just want a little more out of it. I wish it would stick around a little bit longer. I'd have to, well, you know what? We got a little bit of water here. Let's see what a little bit of water does. I'm not really a person that takes on camera and drops out. There's 2 drops of water into our rye. I normally don't do this, although I've started to do it a little bit more. Rye might be one of those ones that would be a good... Ooh, that opened up a vanilla. A lot of sweet vanilla caramel in there. But there's still that floral stuff in the background. Rye, because it typically is on the shelf at a 90 proof to start with, it gives you a little wiggle room to put a little water in there. So maybe that's something worth trying. We'll check it out here. On the nose, it woke up the nose a little bit into more sweeter bourbon notes for sure. And then, so I get a distinct vanilla, a distinct caramel, and a distinct rye smell out of the glass. Rye grain. On the taste, it woke up that vanilla and caramel in the flavor profile. It went vanilla caramel, rye spice, heavy black pepper bite. And that was kind of it. It's interesting. I do like that as well. So, this might be one to drink on the rocks or with a little bit of water where the flavor profile mixing together adds something to it. I'd say probably on the rocks. Even though when you cool down whiskey, it mutes a lot of stuff, I would say that as that ice melts, so with just a little bit of ice, as the ice melts over time, you're going to get a more drastic change in flavor profile. So that's probably what I would do with this, and that might be what I do. But man, even standalone, it's good. It's just there's other things that I like more is how I did it. So there you go. Rendezvous Rye 2020. It's a good one. Check it out. $53 and what did I say? 99 cents. Yep, $53.99 is what I was able to pick that up for here in Wyoming. Please drop in the comments down below what you were able to find, or if you are able to find Rendezvous Rye in your area. High West Distillery has pretty large distribution. I know that, you know, I'm just the next state over from them, but they distribute all across the United States pretty easy. I'm trying to get my hands on a Midwinter Nights Dram if I can. Still haven't been able to find that anywhere in Wyoming. But yeah, drop in the comments down below what you can get this for in your area, what your experiences are with it, what you think of it. Stay tuned for the next video, which is going to be the 2021. And yeah, what else? Follow along on BitChute Minds, soon to be Rumble once I get videos uploaded. YouTube, I only drop videos on Saturdays on YouTube. If you want a sneak peek at what's coming up ahead, check out the other platforms as I release 2 videos a week on all the other platforms. I think these videos probably aren't going to be dropping on YouTube until you're probably not seeing this till I don't know, November 2022 perhaps, somewhere in there. Anyways, as always, thanks for watching. Please like, subscribe to whatever platform you are watching this on if you are getting some good value and entertainment out of this. If you know of anybody who you think would be interested in this content, please share this with those people as I do not have any social media besides these platforms that I'm pushing this content out on. I don't use Facebook or anything like that anymore. So if you can, please share this out with other people. Help boost the numbers a little bit. And if you're doing all that, I thank you very much. And as always, thanks for watching. I do greatly appreciate it. You guys have yourselves a great day, and we'll catch you in the next video where we explore the Rendezvous 2021.